चलते जाते हम। Good morning, students. In last period, actually we have started the lesson that is a classification of plants. At that time, we have discussed first of all the 5 kingdom classification system of Whittaker. Later on, we have discussed in detail the planting kingdom. At that time, we have discussed that kingdom planting is divided into subkingdom, that is a cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams are non-flowering plants, and this cryptogam they are again divided into 3 divisions, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Later on, we have discussed the phanerogam subkingdom, and we have discussed that phanerogams are the flowering plants, and that flowering plants again classified into 2 divisions, that is the gymnosperms and angiosperms. So in detail actually we have discussed about the classification. Now we will see the characteristics of each group. Now first of all we will see cryptogams. Cryptogams, non-flowering plants. Okay. Now in that first of all we will see Thallophyta. Now one of the most important characteristic property of Thallophyta, that is the thallus body. Thallus body is a plant body which is not differentiated as a root, stem and leaves. Such type of plant body that is known as a thallus body. They are either unicellular or multicellular. Okay. Unicellular, that is made up of single cell. Multicellular, that is made up of many cells. Then these plants they are either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Because the examples of the Thallophyta are algae and fungus. Algae they are having chlorophyll, and with the help of chlorophyll they are able to synthesize their food. So they are known as autotrophic. Heterotrophic, that means the plants which do not possess chlorophyll, and because of that reason they are not able to synthesize their food. For example, fungus, non-green plants, they are heterotrophic, which are included in this Thallophyta. Spirogyra, Clara, these are the examples of the algae. Whereas yeast, mold, these are the examples of the fungus. Both of these they are having filamentous body. If you take the green part which is developed on the sides of the water body, and if you see under microscope, you have studied the Spirogyra. So like that structure you will observe. But if you see with the naked eyes, you will see simply the thread-like structures. That is known as a filament cells. Okay. This is mold. Sometimes you may have observed the fungus which is grow on the chapati or bread, etc. Okay. So these are the examples of the Thallophyta. The second group of the cryptogam, that is a Bryophyta. Bryophyta are known as amphibians of the plant kingdom. Why they are known as amphibians of the plant kingdom? Because they grow on moist soil, but for reproduction they need water, and hence they are known as the amphibians of the plant kingdom. There is an absence of 2 roots and stems in case of bryophytes. Instead of that, they are having leaf-like structures, and instead of roots, they are having rhizoids. Okay. Then they reproduce by means of spore formation. What are the spores? Spores are the asexual reproductive bodies. In this case, these spores they are developed in the structure that is known as a sporangium. There is absence of conducting tissue, xylem and phloem. These plants do not possess specialized tissue for conduction of water and food. That is known as a xylem and phloem. The examples of Bryophyta, that is a Funaria and Marchantia. Now the third group, that is a Pteridophyta. Pteridophytes are the plants which are non-flowering but they are vascular. So non-flowering but vascular, that means they do not produce flowers but they possess a specialized conducting tissues, xylem and phloem, for the conduction of water and food. They are cultivated as ornamental plants. Ornamental plants, showy plants. So they are cultivated as ornamental plants in garden. They are having well-developed roots, stem and leaves. They do not bear flower and fruits, and they reproduce asexually by spore formation and sexually by zygote formation. That means they are produced, they reproduce by both methods, that is asexual and sexual. Asexual by means of spore formation and sexually by means of zygote formation. So in that way, the cryptogams, they are classified into three groups, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Now the next subdivision or subkingdom we can say, that is the phanerogams. Phanerogams are the flowering plants. They are well developed plants. Okay. Now these gymnosperms, their characteristics, first of all, these are evergreen plants. ज्याला मी मराठीमध्ये सदाहरित असं म्हणतो. So these are evergreen plants. They are perennial. Perennial, that means they live for many years. Then their stem is without branches. In garden you may have seen the coconut like tree. That is nothing but the gymnosperm, that is the cypress tree. The male and female flowers, in case of these plants, they produce on separate sporophylls. Sporophylls, they are nothing but the leaves, and these are formed or produced on separate leaves of the same plant. In case of gymnosperms, they are having naked seeds. They are not covered within the fruit. Next group that we have discussed after the gymnosperm, that is the angiosperm. Angiosperms are flowering plants. They are well developed plants. They are having highly developed roots, stem and leaves. But their seeds, they are covered in fruit. So in that way, there is a classification of the plants. Now we have completed this topic, but now we will discuss few questions depending on this. First of all, tell me, if you ask that why plants are classified, we have discussed that point. Now you should know the answer. At that time we have discussed that there is a diversity among the plants. They show diversity with respect to size, color, mode of nutrition, habitat, and if that plants studied systematically and scientifically, it is convenient to classify them. So that is the need of classification. Okay. Now tell me, if you ask classify the Spirogyra. Spirogyra, it is example of algae. How will you classify the Spirogyra? What is the kingdom of Spirogyra? Planty kingdom. Okay. Now what is the subkingdom? It is a cryptogam. Okay. Then what is the division of the Spirogyra? It is a Thallophyta. So you can classify Spirogyra as kingdom Plantae, subkingdom Cryptogam, division Thallophyta, example Spirogyra. In that way you can classify the Spirogyra. If it is asked to you, this is the next question. If it is asked to you, that is classify nephroliths of fur, how will you classify? Can you tell me how you can classify the nephroliths of fur plant? Again the kingdom Plantae, subkingdom Cryptogam, okay, division Pteridophyta, and example fern or nephroliths. Okay, so in that way you can classify the plants. Now tell me, what is the characteristic feature of the Thallophyta, the most prominent characteristic feature? Okay, thallus body. What is meant by thallus body? Yes, thallus body, that means plant body which is not differentiated as root, stem and leaves. That type of plant body, that is known as a thallus body. What is the most prominent characteristic feature of the Bryophyta? In case of bryophytes, there is absence of two leaves and two roots. Instead of that, they are having root-like and leaf-like structures. That is the most characteristic property of the bryophyte. Why bryophytes are known as amphibious plants? Because they grow on moist soil, but they need water for reproduction. Hence, they are known as the amphibians of the plant kingdom. Now, what is difference, main difference between gymnosperms and angiosperms? Yes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. What is difference? In case of gymnosperms, the seeds are naked. In case of angiosperms, the seeds are covered within fruit. So in that way, the difference between gymnosperms and angiosperms. What is meant by sporophyll? Very correct. Sporophyll, that is nothing but the leaf. So in case of that gymnosperms, the two types of leaves are there, microsporophylls and megasporophylls. Micro, that is they are having small size. Megasporophylls, they are having larger size. And male gametes and female gametes, they are produced on that specific or different sporophylls. Okay. So that is the characteristics of the gymnosperms. Now tell me, what is the, or we can say what is the characteristic feature of the dicot plant? Yes, we have discussed in last period. Division of angiosperm, that is a monopod and dicot. So on which basis the division takes place? On the basis of number of cotyls present in the seed. They are classified as monopod and dicot. So monopods, they are having single cotyl in their seed, whereas dicot having two cotyls in their seed. On that basis, they are classified as monopod and dicot. Can you tell me the examples of monopod? All the cereals, they are included in monopod. For example, wheat. For example, jawar. For example, maize, rice. All these are the monopods. What are the examples of the dicots? Yes, groundnut. The seed can be divided into two parts. That is the cotyls. Green gram. Okay. So in that way, the characters of the monopod and dicot we are discussing. What type of root present in case of monopods? Type of root present in monopod, that is a fibrous root. That is the adventitious root. Okay. And in case of dicot, what type of root is there? In case of dicot, taproot is there, which is well developed. What is difference between that taproot and fibrous root or adventitious root? Taproot develops from the radical at the time of seed germination. You know, the two structures are developed. Okay, and at that time we are discussing. Suppose this is the seed. One part it is growing in the upper direction and the other one is from the lower direction. This is a radical. This is a plumule. So root is developed from the radical and shoot system is developed from the plumule. So the taproot it is developed from the radical, whereas adventitious root they develop from any part of the stem. Okay. What is the difference between compound leaf and the simple leaf? In simple leaf, the leaf lamina is single, it is a continue. Whereas in case of gulmohar, you know, the familiar tree, neem tree, okay, in that the leaf it is divided into small leaflets. That type of leaf that is known as a compound leaf. Then we will discuss about the venation also in last period. What is venation? Arrangement of veins on the surface of the leaf. That is known as a venation. Okay. And what is difference between the reticulate venation and the parallel venation? In case of all monopods, there is a parallel venation. How is the parallel venation? Suppose this is a leaf. This is a main. Again the veins are there which are parallel to main. Such type of venation that is known as a parallel venation. Okay. In case of dicots, the venation is reticulate. So in detail we have discussed the classification of plant. Okay. Now what is homework for you? You collect the different plants from the surrounding and try to understand different terminology related to plants. Okay. Thank you.